Hey guys, Dr. Tim here with Optimize Wellness Center. I know it's a little peculiar. We're in my bathroom, and I'm going to be sharing with you today a couple of things that you might be doing completely incorrectly and costing you more money, more time, and creating not as clean or healthy of an environment for you. Okay, so in this time of COVID virus, there has been a mad dash for toilet paper. People are going bananas. They are chasing toilet paper everywhere. They are buying these massive tomes of toilet paper and they are stocking up on multiples of these. This might last me an entire year, and I'm going to share with you some secrets of how this works. Okay, so you may be wondering, what is it that Dr. Tim is going to be talking about? I know it's a little uncomfortable to be in the bathroom and for us to talk about it, but we gotta do this, guys. This is something that we share with our practice members regularly at Optimize Wellness Center. All right, so first things first. Maybe some of you are already familiar with the fact that we have something called the Bristol Stool chart. And this is a chart that talks about what does your poop look like? And I know it's uncomfortable. Some people just don't want to look. But actually, this information is super important because it really reveals a lot about what's going on. We consume foods, and hopefully they are super nutritious foods. I know you all are eating nutritious foods. But sometimes they aren't. And also, even whether they're nutritious or not, we have waste that has to come out of the body. And there are toxins that are built by our body as a mechanism of extracting the nutrients. And so we need to get that out. Well, how does that work? Okay, so this Bristol stool chart, it looks kind of like this. I know, it's a little bit weird. All right, so take a look here, guys. So if you're not familiar with it, I'm going to request that you go and take a look and check it out yourselves. And it talks about different kinds of poop here. And so this different kinds of poop on this chart here, they talk about little rabbit pellets, or does it look like grapes, or does it look like corn on the cob, or sausage, or do we have something more like chicken McNuggets or porridge? And then there's the poor gravy. Oh my gosh. All right, so this can give us a lot of really good information. When we work with folks, we talk about this pretty regularly because it is so valuable in revealing. And, you know, I've adapted some information from Dr. Marisol, the Queen of Thrones, that's really great, huh? And she had come up with some golden nuggets, and I have adapted it to 13 golden nuggets. So when we talk about this, we're talking about color, the size, there's an ideal volume or size of a poo. And then we talk about things like frequency and consistency, but also transit time. So let's talk about this for just a moment here. If 3 trains go into a tunnel, how many trains would you expect to come out? Well, we would expect multiple trains to be coming out. So we would also expect that with your bowels and your system. All right, what about the smell? That could be revealing of mineral deficiencies or changes. And also there's people that are called hyper wipers. They take that toilet paper and they go, you know, hundreds of times around and 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 around. And then after all of this, they'd come up with all this toilet paper, and that's what they use to wipe. Can you believe that? That is an enormous amount of toilet paper. I could make a mummy in Egypt with that much toilet paper. And then there are people that we're talking about here in this instance, like the landing site. It's a target, right? So the bowl here is a target. So there's a target, and you got to land in the right place. So if it lands in a completely obscure place, well, maybe there's a different issue that might be going on. What about sinkers or floaters? So this could talk about fats that may be inside of your stool and whether you're absorbing them and utilizing them properly or not. Excuse me. Oh, gosh. Oh, so much dust here. And then there's also the messy tornado bowl. So you press the flush button and it's just like, whoa, holy cow, that thing is going bananas and crazy. And then there's the rough or smooth. Well, you can imagine some of these here, that might be a little bit rougher of a surface, and it might be a little bit aggravating when it comes out. Well, duh. Okay. And then how do you feel? Like, do I have a sensation, or is there something entirely different going on there? We need to talk about this, guys. And then also, Are you able to fully evacuate? I mean, does everything come out, or do you constantly feel like there's a little bit more still to come? Anyway, that is an aside. Those are 13 different nuggets that we might be talking about. But today, I wanted to talk to you about those 2 things that you can have in your bathroom that are super simple and very inexpensive to be able to utilize. And it's going to help you out, become more efficient and more healthy. Okay, so number 1, we are going to talk about something called a Squatty Potty. It's this guy right here. It's super simple. That's all it is. It's just a shelf, essentially, that you stand on, you squat on when you're going to the bathroom. So most people, when they go to the bathroom like this, and then the angle at which they are going to the bathroom is here, and it's almost a 90-degree angle in their knees. But the challenge with that is that creates a problem. And the problem here is that when you're sitting, this muscle here, the puborectalis muscle, is going to pull and constrict against that, and it's going to make it hard to come down here. So the slippy slide is no longer that slippy of a slide. Now, the solution is this thing. And the solution is here. So you can see here with the Squatty Potty, it relaxes that muscle here, the puborectalis muscle, and it allows for a straight shot down. Isn't that easy? Super simple. So when you're sitting on the toilet and you're on the throne here, your knees come up slightly, and now there is a change in this angle, and it allows for the chute to go down much more simply. All right, number 2. We are going to talk about number 2 here today. And number 2 is going to be talking about how do we make the most hygienic environment possible. All right, so when we go to the bathroom, most people take that nasty mess and they are wiping repeatedly and they are smearing. Now, there are a variety of misconceptions about a bidet. And so I'm going to be talking about 6 of those. 6 of them, guys. 6. Okay? So bidets are messy, people talk about. Well, in fact, actually, you can adjust the spray, the pressure, as well as the position of it to make sure that it's accurate and is hitting the target, guys and gals. And then also, no need to fear for the cold splash. It's not going to freak you out. Many of these actually have a temperature gauge, so you can even get it to almost a body temperature or whatever you chose, and so that it'll feel calm and smooth. Okay. Now, it attaches really simply and easily to the toilet in addition. I'm going to show you guys that in just a moment here. Now, some folks think that, well, toilet paper is just easier and cheaper. But in fact, actually, this toilet paper roll, on average in the United States, is about $3. So imagine what people are spending when they're buying like gobs of these things and they're running through these. On average, Americans are using 34 million, that's with an M, million rolls of toilet paper every day. That equates to roughly over $100 million worth of toilet paper on a daily basis. Wow, that is a lot of money, and we can do something about this. All right, so you don't have to hire a plumber to be able to attach this. It's super simple, and moreover, it is even better for the environment because this paper can clog up your pipes, and we're having to cut down trees or even recycling, but we're still having to make this paper here so that it's super soft for your tush. Okay, now other people were concerned, well, isn't it just for women? And yes, of course, it is helpful for feminine hygiene when they're menstruating or they're pregnant. Yeah, that's true, but it's actually also ideal for men, children, and even geriatrics and elderly. All right, now other people were concerned, well, what about, but I'm using water, but don't I need soap? Well, no, you don't need soap to be able to do this. In fact, the water in and of itself is hygienic because it's actually cleaning the surface. But moreover, soaps often are harsh, and that may be causing an abrasion in drying out the mucosal lining back here. And in this image, it can be causing drying and abrasion of that mucosal lining. And this can lead to a variety of things like increased risk for infections because there might be fissures or cuts there. You can also get something called lichen sclerosis, or even inflammation in that area. None of that is good. We don't want any of that down there. All right, now, it's medically recommended that you use water to clean down there. I'm telling you, I am a doctor, and I am telling you it's best to use water. All right, now, also people are concerned, well, isn't it kind of weird? Like I was traveling abroad and I went to this place and I saw this little thing called a bidet that was hanging out beside there. And I don't really know what to do with it. And it looked kind of weird and seemed like an ghastly, excessive waste of space. Well, in fact, while, yes, the majority of the world, whether it is developed countries or even developing countries, the majority of the world is utilizing bidets because they are hygienic and they're cost effective and they're easy to use. And you should be using one too. So don't worry about it. It's really that simple. Now, some people say it might not be that sanitary to be able to use this here. Well, I would argue that it is actually even more sanitary. So I'm going to give you an example, guys. All right, so if you were going to be going to the bathroom and you had some poo, now what's going to happen here? Now this thing here can actually, not only do we have this little nozzle here, but we have a spray here, all right? So we can control how much is coming out of this when we are washing. Now, also, it self-cleans down below here in addition, so it's going to be clean each time. So that's terrific. But also, guys, let's think about this for just a moment. If I had something dirty on me, just as an example, would I want to wipe this and hope that wiping that got it off of my hand in this instance? Or would I rather, by contrast, to rinse that and get that off? All right, now I'm going to show you one last thing. Now this is a little bit awkward and you probably have never seen this before, but we're going to go for it, guys. Okay, so I'm going to show you, while using the bidet here, where does the water land? Are we hitting the target? All right, so I'm going to show you, while I sit here on the throne, we're going to take this and we're going to wash the bum. And then you can even see right here where it landed. Straight in the target, guys. That's exactly where you wanted it to land. So I have shown you that not only is it more cost effective, it is cleaner, and it is the best method for you to be able to go to the bathroom. I know this was super weird, but we had to get through this, guys, especially now when it's important that everyone has a moment to be thinking about how they're going to the bathroom. Well, there you had it. Dr. Tim with Optimize Wellness Center. Take care.